what I learned in 2015. Coming right up. 2015 for me was year of the lessons. From relationships, business, lessons about myself. That's the only way I can sum it up, is lessons. December 31st, 2014, I cried on the altar and I asked God to take away everything that was not good for me. I was in such a horrible place at the end of 2014, and I did not want to carry that into the new year, and so I left it all with God on the altar. So I started 2015 on a journey of forgiveness. I got Ian Van Zant's book, 21 Days to Forgive Anybody for Anything, and I read it every day. Then I took a trip to Dubai, the first trip, number one, facing my fears of long flights and alone in another country. So my first real lesson of 2015 was forgiveness. I'm learning that I had to forgive people in order for my soul to be set free. My second lesson was self-love, and it's what prompted the I Love Her project. It wasn't until I turned 36 that I was able to love myself. And that lack of self-love translated into all of my intimate relationships, starting from my early 20s. You know, there was a time in my early 20s when I prided myself on being a side joint and only fucking niggas who had girlfriends. At the time, I claimed I didn't want a boyfriend. I claimed I wanted to be alone, but I was really kind of just protecting myself and acting out. And then the last 9 years, I spent in very tumultuous, abusive relationships. Once again, lack of self-love. And finally, the year that I learned to love myself, I've spent it alone because I really think God is trying to help me find me. And I think I still have some work to do before God sends me someone who can love me just as much as I love myself. And I'm okay with that because in this last year, I've become closer to my children, closer to my friends, closer to myself. But 2016 is the year of the husband. Yes, it is. He will find me. God will send me somebody. And I'm going to wait on it. Third lesson of 2015 was perseverance. It took me a whole year to lose 11 pounds. 11 fucking pounds. And I really had to take my own advice. I coach my members daily on staying the course. When the scale's not moving and you're doing everything that you can in your power to make it move, and you're not getting the results that you know you should be getting, and you become discouraged. Most people quit, but you have to persevere. You know, I had so many roadblocks this year as far as my health. I started with surgery in February, wasn't able to work out for a month, picked up extra weight. That extra weight I picked up then caused my knees and my back to hurt like they've never hurt before, bringing up old issues that I had before I had lost weight. Then just stress of being overwhelmed with running a company caused my panic attacks to resurface at the end of the year. But through it all, I kept on going. Did not let it defeat me. I kept going. I knew that there was something greater than me. I had to be an example, but I also had to be very transparent. You know, you can't preach and tell people to keep going when it's hard and keep going when it's hard if you can't do it yourself. So I had to do it. And the other thing that kept me going was self-love, because I was finally loving on me. So the number on the scale really didn't even matter because I was happy. You know, I don't work out and eat right now for a specific number on the scale. I do it because it makes me feel good. It's good for my body and my soul. And prior to this year, I never had a problem losing weight. You know, that's one thing I can do. I can lose weight. Everybody knows that about me. That's what I do. So in the past, when I would tell my members to, you know, push through it, keep going, even when the scale wasn't moving, I was never coming from a place of having experienced it myself. Oh, but God, He allowed me to feel what they feel. And how could I tell other people to keep going if I was going to give up my fourth lesson of 2015 was being proactive as opposed to being reactive. You know, for the better part of my life, I've been a habitual procrastinator. I always thought I worked better under pressure. I've also been somebody who lets things happen. You know, I would always just let things happen as opposed to doing the work in advance so that I could control how it actually happened. But what that did was only stress me the fuck out and cause my anxiety and panic disorder to be even worse. So I found that by actually preparing and doing things in advance, life runs so much more smoothly. You know, like I remember last year for Girl Fresh Weekend, I was all in a tizzy, felt like my head was cut off. This year it was so calm. I was anxious before, but during the day, everything just ran so smoothly. So that was my lesson. Get shit done in advance. My fifth lesson of 2015 was check the motherfucking credentials and the references. And this was more so for business, but it translates across everything, business, personal, whatever. Do your fact checking. You know, like Pastor said last night, you elevate to help other people come with you. Ever since I've started FBF, I always try to work with businesses that I love who might not be as well known, or friends and family, you know, who are trying to do something. I try to give them that opportunity by working with me. But baby, when I tell you the end of the year, I had some of the worst working collaborations ever. And I lost a lot of money. And it was a lesson that everything that glitters ain't what it is. You know, in a world of social media, we have people claiming to be able to do certain things. You have to fact check these folks, people. And even when you do check credentials and references, you have to be very thorough in doing so. You know, this year I had people who I've worked with previously who did an amazing job allow their personal situation to get in the way of completing a job. So, tip to all of you out there, contracts, con fucking tracks. Because see, having contracts is what saved me when the people that I hired did not hold up to their end of the contract. And my last and final lesson of 2015 is take care of yourself. You know, with everything that goes on around us, everything that we see, we feel like that we have to be moving at 100 all the time. We feel like if we rest or take a couple days off, that next person is going to get a one-up on us in business or in life. We have been systematically programmed to always be on go for fear of losing. But you cannot be of service to yourself, to your family, to your children, or to anybody else if you are ill. So you have to listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Your body tells you when you need to sit the fuck down. Listen. You know, and all my friends tell me, and last night when we were in church, the pastor was like, look to your neighbor and tell them to keep going. And Tania was like, keep going, but chill out sometimes. So that's it, guys. I hope I was able to help you guys. Hope you got some inspiration. Happy 2016.